Dear all monks, all nuns, and all practitioners, our meditation is to emphasize on the practice. On the practice, we always ask the question, the vital question. For our practice, if we are diligently on the practice, and we take serious on the practice, if we have a thought of taking birth and death seriously, we take the practice as the most important thing, then this will help us sweep out all of our attachments, and we stop all the differentiation thought in our mind. We don't have a thought, we don't give rise to a thought to stop all this, but the practice itself will automatically do this for us. So we always remind ourselves that we have to have the wisdom when we listen to the Dharma. We also have the clear vision, which is considered the bright eyes wisdom. So when we talk about wisdom, we're talking about not dwelling anywhere. We're talking about not attached to anything, self-attachment, for example. Any knowledge and view we should not attach to. So this is this is just the explanation. If we have the wisdom when we listen to the Dharma, then we will see the attachment that we may have, like affliction that we may have, like frustration we may have. Because this is all has to do with the ignorance, the self-attachment. If we have the wisdom, then we will be able to recognize and we will return to our practice. And then we will practice sincerely. We don't let the ignorance, the habits that distract us from our practice. That is the wisdom. That is the wisdom that when we listen to the Dharma. So the good no advisors or the patriarchs keep reminding us about when we listen to the Dharma, we have to have the wisdom. And if we have this, then we will be able to maintain the practice. If we don't, then we just plant the seed. If we have the wisdom, then we'll be able to recognize the Dharma. If we just take differentiation, keep differentiate things, then we'll not be able to recognize. If we have this differentiation thoughts in our mind, we're more likely to stay with our attachment, stay with our ignorance. And an example, like a lotus flower growing up from the mud. Even though this flower, the lotus flower, still is in the mud, but when it grows out of the mud, it doesn't have the smell of the mud. So the analogy is just like a person who has the wisdom. The individual, just like the flowers. So the experience from the Buddha he talking about this analogy, the flower from the mud, the lotus flower from the mud, it can grow out from the mud. So everyone want to practice and want to get out of the mud, but because of the ignorance, because of the we don't have the wisdom. We have the attachment, all of the attachment. So the patriots is they very compassionate, and they pointed out that we should not have any attachment, should not have a thought of seeking, a thought of attaining, thought of fear. So having no desire, no gain, no attaining, and no fear. So when we keep the practice going, we don't even remember this thought of no seeking, no attaining, no fear. We just maintain the Tao. So when we maintain the Tao, we have a thought of not knowing, not understanding. And then we maintain the practice long enough, then we will not attached to the knowledge and view. So then, when we listen to the Dharma from the patriarchs or the teaching from the Buddha, then we will have a clear understanding what they meant. So each example, each analogy from the Buddha's teaching or patriarch's teaching, it has a different angle to try to help us. So just like a person who throw out a bone, the dog chased the bone, but the lion they grab the person's hands. So if we not dwelling anywhere, then we'll be able to recognize the proper Dharma. If we have the attachments, self-attachment, we will not be able to recognize. So every day we try to remind ourselves, remind each other, so that we can counteract all the habits that we may have. So on the practice, if we keep the practice going, our habits, our ignorance, our affliction will not be able to distract us. So just maintain the practice on any circumstances. Even if we're in the hell, the suffering from hell will not control us. Even we in the heaven, we have all kind of, we are very sufficient, but all these things will not distract us, will not control us. So now it's time for question, time for sharing. Namo Sakamoni Buddha. We invite Pháp Tuệ to speak. Namo Sakamoni Buddha. Dear Master, dear all masters, and everyone, I would like to share, and I would like to ask you to help me. So you just explain, just give the instructional talk. So this is how I see myself on the path. In reality, when we talking about the practice diligently. So every time I encounter the condition, interact, I lost my. I couldn't maintain my practice. So when I read the Master likewise teaching, I recognize that I keep making mistakes. And I felt like I've been losing the focus on my practice. So you have explained it in many different ways, so that we can, for us to maintain the practice. But I still feel like I feel like I still attached to some of the condition that I encounter, and my knowledge and view keep doing this to me. But Master likewise just keep mentioning about asking the question and continue asking the question. This I know that I understand this, but it's not easy for me to maintain this. And every day you have reminding and everything you said is very clear and it's very deep, and it has deep meaning. But and I feel like when I interact with different types of condition, sometimes I feel like I'm right, but and then you pointed out so deep in my heart that I feel like I'm fortunate that that you pointed out the mistake that I made. So the more I feel like the more that I practice, I have to be careful, especially my thought. And I think that I think, and I feel I keep making mistakes. And now that you still around and keep making mistakes, sometimes I think without you being around, I don't know what I'm gonna be. So this morning when you give the extension of talk, I feel ashamed, and I will try my best to practice. The Buddha's teaching, just go back to the practice. Don't try to react on the condition. Even the condition is good, it's favorable, or the condition is unfavorable. Don't try to react on it. Just go back to the practice. Don't try to subdue. Just go back to the practice as normal as it can be. Like before our parents were born, what did my original face look like? Just ask the question clearly. Don't do anything else. Just don't try to subdue anything. So if we keep doing this, then we'll be able to recognize, we'll be able to understand, have a clear understanding what the Buddha meant, what the patriarchs tried to tell us. So without the practice, we will not be able to overcome all the obstacles that we may have. So without the teaching and without the rules and regulation, without the vow that we made, without the precept that we try to keep, then it's not easy. So when we bring forth the mind to practice, then we should be diligent on the practice. Otherwise, the 5 desires will distract us, will drag us. So the good no advisors keep reminding us, try to go back to the original thought when you give rise to a thought of practice, or to so because the thought of bringing forth the mind to leave home, so if we keep the practice going, then we're able to go back to the original thought that we, the initial thought that we had, that we brought forward. So any condition, any interaction that we encounter, whether it's favorable or unfavorable, don't try to dwell on it. Don't try to cling to it. Try not to think about it. Just go back to the practice. So sometimes we listen to the Dharma and we try to say, be careful, try not to stay with the knowledge in view. The knowledge in view, it has to do with us. We keep thinking about it, we differentiate, and that is when the knowledge in view will come out, we're attached to. So just keep the practice going. And an example like the Buddha, in one of the great assembly, he raised up the flower, so Mahakassapa, he got enlightened. But everyone else, they didn't understand, so they give rise to the doubt. So when we believe in the cause and effect, that's that's another way of saying believe in our own mind. So our practice is just go back to ask the question to give rise to a doubt. So the question is not for us to subdue any false thoughts, any things that we dislike or so this practice, an analogy, a person who throw out a bone. The question that we chose to practice is just like a bone as well. So don't attach to it. It's just an experience. It's just. So we need to participate in a Dharma discussion so that we can practice correctly on this path. We invite Kim Yến to speak. Namo Sakamuni Buddha, the all monks or nuns, and the rest of the assembly. When I hear the good no advisors giving instructional talk, how do we differentiate, recognize self-attachment, no self-attachment, proper Dharma, and deviant Dharma? Can you explain this? When we listen to the Dharma, when we read the Buddha's teaching, we look at the patriarch's teaching, we listen to all the Dharma friends, all the good no advisors. But we should look at our practice. We should have the practice, not just going after all this teaching. So even if we think that we have a clear understanding, or when we think that we misunderstand, this is still differentiate. But Buddha Dharma is actually non-dual. So if we think right and wrong, that is duality. So because of duality, then we have wrong and right, good and bad. So that is still an attachment. That is not detached. So on the practice, we just go back to the practice by asking the question, continue asking the question. It doesn't matter we have a good no advisor or not having good no advisor. Even if we have Dharma friends or not having any Dharma friends, just keep the practice. It has to do with us, whether we can maintain the practice or not. So if we can maintain the practice, then it will detach from the hearing, seeing, knowing, acknowledging, or hearing, seeing, hearing, understanding, and knowing. So we attach on this seeing, hearing, understanding, and knowing. That is considered a sickness. But when we try to say, when we get to the enlightened state, the state of enlightenment, then the seeing, hearing, understanding, and knowing actually becoming the function of the self-nature. We need to rely on the Buddha Dharma so that we can maintain the practice. If we don't, then we're more likely to get attached on the explanation. So we have the attachment of thinking everything is real. That is the so actually the practice really sweep out all of the attachments. So we fortunate that we have the practice, and the more we practice, we'll be able to recognize the problems. So we don't maintain the practice, more like this is the seeing, hearing, understanding, knowing will bother us, will distract us, will So an analogy, when we try to climb the mountain, we keep climbing to the top of the mountain. So even when we climb, we see clouds, we see all kind of things. We should keep going. So just like when we see other mistakes, then we should not have this thought. Just like the sixth patriarch, he stated that he always see his mistake, not seeing others' shortcomings or mistakes, wrongdoings. So on the path of cultivation, so people who already have the experience and practice before us, we just try to follow them, and they can lead us. So the story in the Buddha's time, there was one of the Buddha disciple. He liked to go to this village to propagate the Buddha Dharma. And these people from this village, they're very mean. They're very evil. These people, when they see the Buddha disciple, they will throw rock at them. They will try to hit them with a stick, using stick to. So the Buddha warned him, if you go there, you will encounter all kind of obstacles. So this, so the Buddha mentioned different types of obstacles. What if they hit you? What if they do this to you? What if they kill you? Even if, he said, actually they are helping him. He said, he told the Buddha to liberate. So I just try to brief on this story. The story has more details to it, but just try to brief. So for ourselves, as a practitioner, when we see other people's wrongdoing or mistakes, we should not give rise to any anger, any criticism. We just try to maintain our practice. whether we encounter favorable or unfavorable condition. Namo Sakamuni Buddha. I think this is from an Hun. So you just explain, and you have some of the remindings for the practitioners like us. We need to always look at our mistakes. Don't look at others' mistakes. It's the majority of the practitioners, they have this mistake. They have this problem. They always look outward, see other people's mistakes, and they don't even know or recognize their own mistakes. So the practice is similar. If we can see the mistake that we are making, then we'll be able to correct it. If we don't, then we'll not be able to correct it. So sometimes like we criticize other people. We have a so on the path, we may encounter good no advisors or bad no advisors. And sometimes they pointed out the mistake that we are having. Will point out the mistake that we are having. So even the bad ones, when they do bad things, and then we look at them, it's also a reminding for us not to do the bad deeds. So the evil, the deviant, the evil, or the problem has to do with our mind. It's in us. It's just like when we look at the mirror, we will see our reflection, the image. So when we see the good no advisors, then we have a reflection about ourselves. But when we see a bad one, evil one, and we differentiate evil or good. So if we differentiate this, then we will lose our practice. We'll not be able to maintain our practice. So we can maintain the practice. The good no advisor will help us. And then the bad one is still a reflection for us so that we can see the mistake, so that we can correct our mistakes. So just like you keep reminding us, go back to the practice, return to the practice. So can you explain a little bit further for us in this? area. In theory, this is clear, but the basic practice that we need to have is to leave the duality. So when we differentiate good, bad, proper, not proper, that is still considered to be seeing, hearing, understanding, and knowing. So when we practice by asking the question, actually we have the thought of inflow, not outflow. So in our daily life, sitting, standing, laying down, you should maintain the practice. It's not just a particular position. So all so a person like Hương Nghiêm, when he got enlightened, when he got to this state of enlightenment, all these positions, all these adornments, it has nothing to do with it. So when we listen to this explanation, each one of us will understand differently. But the patriarchs, the good advisors, keep telling us the explanation is just the explanation. We should not abide, should not cling to it, should not attach to it. So the practice itself will leave all these attachments. So the more we practice, the more diligent that we are practicing on this path, then we'll have a better understanding, a clear understanding. So we run out of time. So Kim Huang has a question. So we'll wait for the next time. Namo Sakamuni Buddha.